Okay? You just want to kill him partially. All right. Sydney, you go first.
Okay, it's not guaranteed he'll be our next president, by the way.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sydney, ignore Jordan. Tell us why you'd want to kill Donald Trump. Shh, listen.
I mean, he's not completely wrong with what he's saying, like, you know, the Mexicans, like, deport him, but, like, just how he wants to do it just kind of makes me cringe a teensy bit.
In what way?
I mean, the thing that killed me is when he said that they are, like, hoes and they take our jobs and they're just prostitutes. I mean, that pissed me off. And then his, what is it, his maid, whatever, housewife, whatever, is a Mexican, and I'm like, oh, I would have slapped you.
Maybe she's not illegal.
Why would that matter?
Yeah, she is.
Shh, hang on a minute. Why would that matter?
Because
And define that for me in your mind. Define that for me.
like
Illegal.
illegal immigrant, like
Sure.
without paying taxes or a green slip or any of that stuff.
And define taxes you want them to pay.
Every tax is somebody pay Social Security.
Sales tax, Social Security, FICA, all those things?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Oops, my bad, hon. Keep going. Why does it make you, why would it matter if she's illegal?
Because if she's illegal, but she's not paying all those taxes and she's getting free health benefits and all this stuff that she didn't need to get because she shouldn't be here.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you is that if somebody's illegal, they get everything free.
Yeah.
Okay? Joseph, you're saying pretty much. Why? Not enough answer for me there, kid. Why do you agree with that? Why do you think why do you have that perception of that, of illegal immigrants being that way?
Getting everything for free?
Yeah.
Because they come here and then they ain't got to pay anything, taxes and stuff for 7 years.
For 7 years? And then what, they become like dead, or what happens then? What happens after 7 years? Okay. Anybody else?
I just think he makes a good point.
What do you mean?
He won't take anything from anybody. I think he'd be a good president mostly because he's not going to take anything from anyone.
From ISIS, he won't.
No, I mean, he won't take no shit, really.
Okay.
That's the best way to put it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
He ain't scared to bring up
He won't be
topics.
scared to do anything to anybody. And I feel like he's going to put down a lot of strictness to legal immigrants. The thing that I like best about him is he said we're not going to have equal citizenship to children and... What was the other one?
Parents.
No, not parents. Yeah,
Oh.
Okay.
not equal citizenship. I really think that's a good way to put that.
Okay. Can you tell me what any other presidential candidate, Democrat, Republican, or Independent,
Walk up for
is standing on? What are they making the news for?
Well, one of them's named These Nuts.
Oh, God, I saw that.
But what are their platforms? What are they in the news for?
Name.
Can you name them?
There's Trump, there's Hillary Clinton, there's Bernie Sanders.
Right?
I'm not sure if Ted Cruz is there.
He is.
Ted Cruz.
Can you tell me what Ted Cruz is saying about immigration?
No, I'm joking.
Can you tell me what Hillary Clinton is saying about immigration?
I was
Get rid of the gun.
How come you all
Why does it
know?
matter?
It does. How come you guys all know what Donald Trump is saying about immigration on the news?
Because he's in the news.
Why is he
I only
in the
care about
news?
I don't. Can I say because how he
You
is?
may.
I know nothing about any of those people or anything they've ever said.
In Trump or nothing?
Well, actually, my family got in a big argument about it. My cousins and his mom
Right.
got in a big argument about it, but I wasn't understanding what they said.
Can you repeat what they said without, the beer-induced language?
I don't know. My cousin was just mad at the Trump dude.
The Trump dude.
What's his first name?
Donald?
Donald. He was mad at Donald, and he was yelling at his mom about it. His mom was fighting back, and the dad got in, and then he was arguing with them both. And, yeah.
I'm surprised you don't know Donald Trump from TV. The Apprentice.
The guy with the fake hair.
Yeah, he's got the bad comb over.
He kind of looks like a duck. I don't want. Could we call him Donald Duck?
We probably will once he becomes president, yes.
I'll write it.
All right, so 14th Amendment.
I put you
They're
first.
trying to say that he broke it or is going to break it, but
Who?
he says that
Oh, I'm not trying to say anything. Tell me what the 14th Amendment is about. If you don't know, go look. You have computers. You can turn them on, get them started. 14th Amendment. Tell me, tell me, tell me.
I know that one too. I just said it.
Like the gun,
14th Amendment. And I don't want a regurgitation of what the words say. I want you to explain to me. You need your computer in a little while anyway, so you might as well get it out. Tell me what you think it means. Tell me what it says. Tell me what's going on with it. That is a pretty background. Is that a balloon?
It's the set one.
Oh.
Everyone has them pretty much except like me, because I set mine before she walked together.
Why are we plugged in?
I was charged yesterday.
Yes.
It stayed on all night.
Yeah, well, make sure you guys, because you need it first hour, and I'm not going to not have you have your computers charged. This is my pencil. Yes. My pencil. You can do whatever you need to do, Justine, to fix the problem. And again, I want an understanding of the 14th Amendment, not just a regurgitation of what it says. Huh? You know what it means? Interesting. All right. And finding a primary source would be awesome. You know better. You're a senior.
I know.
All right, so what do we think the 14th Amendment means?
That pretty much everyone should have equal rights.
Equal rights?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're born in the United States or naturalized in the United States, then you're more subject to justification.
What does naturalize mean?
Isn't that another word for succeed?
No.
Brave.
No. Go figure it out. What else? What are you giggling about, Joseph?
I think we're on the same page here, but.
Did you look up naturalized and get a funny picture?
No. First thing's a group of Mexicans. I think why.
Interesting. Naturalized, what's it mean? Oh, Allie, you're killing me first day out.
what you do.
Dictionary.com.
Come on, that one's funny.
No. And listen, remember, we don't do searches through images unless we're looking for an image. Joseph, it's going to be a long year. All right, so come on now. What else? What's the 14th Amendment mean? Why did the 14th Amendment become? Who created the 14th Amendment?
It was created in 1868.
It-
July 9th.
Go do some searching for that. Verify that. Dun, 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 dun.
Did you know that there's 5 sections?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
What are those 5 sections all about, Tucker?
The 5th one says the Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation.
Look at it. Read it. Say it again. I'm sorry. I was being interrupted by Cooper.
I'm not sure to read.
That's okay. Don't read it. Tell me what it means.
It means that the Congress can have power and enforce the law.
Yeah, what law?
The 14th Amendment.
So by that, what can you assume then? Who gets to decide citizenship?
The Congress.
Okay. What's the first through the fourth?
The first one, I already looked at, born or naturalized.
Okay.
And then
And we're gonna pick on somebody here in a second about what naturalized means.
the second one, representatives shall be appointed among several states according to their respective numbers.
Which means what, Tucker?
That representatives of each state of the Congress pick their legal citizens.
Which means what?
You better be on the good side?
So we bribe people?
Yeah.
No. Naturalized, what's it mean, Delaney?
Admitted to citizenship.
Oh, wow. Can I hear you?
Admitted to citizenship as a country.
What does that mean?
Like, if you're a foreigner, you can be admitted as a citizen.
So Ms. Kai's over here can become a United States citizen? Then she's naturalized. You're guessing? I don't want guesses.
Pretty sure that's what it means.
That's pretty sure? Pretty sure is not 100%.
Sure.
Who wants to agree or disagree with her?
She said
You agree with her?
I
Okay.
agree.
All right, awesome. He said that the 14th Amendment was,
Equal rights.
nope. You were talking about a date.
Between July 9th.
Past. Is past the right word? You've got it in front of you, Cooper. It's not a trick question. Adapted, what word are they using?
I don't know, I didn't think
I know what it is.
adopted.
Read the first line.
The 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution was adopted on July 9th, 1860.
It was ratified.
That's a much better term when we're dealing with history and we're dealing with English. Ratified, why?
I'm tired.
Yeah, it's okay. You can be tired. Why is ratified a better word?
It's the more, like, professional word.
Precise would be a better word. Adopted is a bad word. Ratified means that they have done what to that particular amendment?
Change it the way they want it to be.
It means that they accept the way that it is. So adopted just, I can adopt the fact that you had to write on a note card today. I didn't necessarily agree with that particular thing as it was happening. Okay? All right. What were the other sections? Dun, dun, dun,
Section
dun.
3 says, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress, or elected or president and vice president, or hold any offices in military and staff, blah, blah. They should not be a citizen.
Which means what, Tucker? Redneck it down for us.
If you weren't born in the United States and not a citizen of the United States, and you can't be
Born or,
a citizen.
born or naturalized. What are the other ones?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, they can. You didn't know that, did you?
Go ahead.
You all have a potential presidential candidate who was not a United States citizen.
Ooh, Obama?
Cruz.
I thought you had to be born in the United States to be a president.
He was born in Canada.
Close enough.
Close enough. Oh, because he wasn't naturalized is what they're saying. So,
Did Jamin find you?
no, huh?
You did?
No. Who wants to eat? You're
No,
having
anybody
something.
already?
No, huh?
Super nachos.
So, super
Maybe he's
nachos.
not around to eat yet.
They're all eating. No,
Okay.
so, in case he doesn't find us.
Okay, 'cause yeah, he didn't know what they told. Got this though?
No, that was from here yesterday,
yesterday.
yeah. And Kai's not in our grade book yet, so if you want to get her
Oh,
there.
okay. All right, and then, those of you that are in chemistry, you haven't turned in your agreement. You don't have to do pages 3 and 4, just page 1 and 2. So you got to turn it in.
I already turned mine in.
If you already turned it in, that's fine, turn them off.
Oh, don't go. Cooper's got his stuff. Awesome. All right, so why is this such a big deal? Why is it such a big deal now?
14th Amendment?
Yeah.
Because Obama's getting terrorist guns.
Because it's 2015 and 2016 is coming around the corner and that's
Because
going to be presidential.
Donald Trump wants to deport all the unnatural.
Yes, but why?
Because they're not legal. He
Okay.
wants to send them back to Mexico so they can become legal to come back here, but their kids were born here. And you just can't send a kid back without his parents, so he wants to send the kids back with him, but people don't like that because they were born here and they have a right to stay here.
Anchor babies is the term that they're using there, and they're using the 14th Amendment, right? How many of you are offended by that term? Anchor babies. That is rude. Yes. Never mind. Yes. So here's the deal with this. 14th Amendment was created why? Why do we have the 14th Amendment to begin with? You cannot tell me that in what year, Cooper?
1868.
That in 1868 we were worried about Mexicans climbing over a non-existent wall and taking your
It
jobs.
was to free the slaves.
It was to free the slaves. And it wasn't to free them. We're not using the right words there. No. You all know what did that. What's that called? Big document. Abraham Lincoln was a guy, not a document.
I don't know.
What was the name of the proclamation that he did? Oh, wow. You've lost your speaking privileges. The Emancipation.
I couldn't remember what.
I knew it.
Keep going. Emancipation Proclamation. There you go. Which, by the way, you guys, did not free slaves. It proclaimed that he was going to make them free. What finally made them United States citizens? The 14th Amendment. Because we had how many illegal immigrants here because of slavery? Lots, right? And what was one of the compromises that our Congress had to make? Technically, were they United States citizens? No, they were not, right? What was going to happen to their children? They were going to go away. What was going to happen to them? They were going to go away. So the 14th Amendment was created, adopted, ratified. Okay? So here's the deal with that. Why is that a big deal today?
Because we have so many foreigners in our country, because they're all looking for the quote-unquote not really existent and more American dream. So they all come over here, and I guess there's so much that people don't really want anymore.
American dream,
Quote unquote.
quote unquote. Why are you putting it in quotes? And why did you say it's not necessarily existent anymore?
I don't really feel like it's the same
How come?
dream that everyone had however long ago.
Defined long ago.
Like, when immigration was like a huge thing with like, what was the island over by
Ellis?
Ellis Island, yeah, they were all coming over through there, like during that transition period. Like when it was so easy to like,
Easy to become a citizen?
easy to become a citizen, easy to become, like, I guess, if you really wanted to, a pretty wealthy person because of how much opportunity you had. But I don't feel like it's that way anymore.
Okay, interesting. How many of you have even heard of the American dream? In my day, the American dream was, you know, a two-car garage and 2 cars, and everybody was working, and 2.2 kids, and a pet, and a picket fence, and yeah.
I had 2.2.
You don't. It was an average. And those kinds of things. You were paying your bills, you were doing what you want to do. What is your generation's American dream?
Moving to London,
Moving to London.
I will be here.
Okay.
I want to go to
Sports cars.
Sports cars, mansions,
$14 million mansion.
big houses,
Drive boats.
fast cars, toys,
Yes.
Sex.
I am so glad this is being recorded. Yeah. I'm not 100% certain where you're going there, but
You gotta sniff that out.
your American dream is very, very different than my generation's American dream. Yet the circumstances are incredibly similar. If you go all the way back to World War II, you guys, when the American dream was really prominent in American literature, you are having, how many of you watched The Great Gatsby? Yeah, great movie, wasn't it? Great movie. Better book, much better book. Great movie, though. But you have this individual who wants nothing but the love of his life to go wherever they can. He wants to have money, and the only reason he wanted money was to get her back. Yeah, isn't it sweet? It's a sweet story. It's a Nicholas Sparks book.
I don't like how they
That's
killed
why
him in
it
the end.
sounds so.
Yeah, there you go. It's The Notebook. Huh?
I don't like how they killed him in the end. That would be a,
Oh, Gatsby?
yeah.
You know, we'll read that book this year, but I'm going to take you on a journey through that too, because they make you in the book think that Mr. Wilson has killed him. But there is an entire group of fans out there who have this real big argument that Wilson didn't do it. They think the butler did it. And in the book there's a butler. I don't know if there is in the movie or not, I don't remember. So, yeah, it's kind of a fun little argument. So the 14th Amendment is going to kind of rule your media for the next year and a half. God bless America. Immigration, your generation is going to decide this. Giant wall, letting people in, not letting people in, those kinds of things. But it all goes back to the 14th Amendment. It all goes back to slavery. And it all goes back to a choice. Do you, and I'm going to read this to you, ready? What is the best choice? Stay and fight for freedom and equality, or immigrate and build a new society elsewhere?
Immigrant and build a society.
Don't answer that yet. Sure. What is the best choice? Stay and fight for freedom and equality, or immigrate and build a new society elsewhere? Now, think about the literature in your lives that's really popular at this time too. The Hunger Games, Maze Runner, all the TV shows. You've got Mr. Robot, you've got Humans, The Dome,
Whispers.
Under the Dome, Whispers. Is it best to stay and fight for freedom and equality, or is it best to go somewhere else and create a new society? It's the question that the slaves had to decide. It's the question that you guys are going to have to decide as Americans. It's the question that any immigrant in the United States is going to have to decide. It's the question, it's a lifelong question. Is it best to stay and fight, or is it best to go and establish somewhere else? That's the million. I thought about that the other day too. I don't know if you know it or not. You know where Mr. Weber lives, right down here? Used to be the edge of town. In fact, when Mr. Weber moved in, they moved that in from the country, that house. And it was actually easy to move in because there weren't a lot of houses around it. It was prairie. It was field. Where can you do that in Armour today? You'd have to go where? You'd have to go outside of the city limits, right? But you have that question in Armour. You have people who want to move into Armour. What can't they find? A house. They can't find land to build a house. We have a lot of lots in town that are empty, but people don't want to give up their land. They don't want to give that up. So, is it better for that person to go somewhere else or to stay and fight? It's the million-dollar question. And it applies in so many circumstances. Now, we're going to apply it all the way back to 1868. We're going to apply it all the way from slavery up to today. Questions so far? Easy enough so far. How you doing, Jordan?
I feel like the amendment is just being taken advantage of by immigrants is why it's kind of failing us right now.
How come?
Well, it was a good law before, but now that they're all saying that Trump wants to take advantage of it. I mean, not take advantage, like fix is what you could call it. And people could just tell, if they're going across the border, they could just tell someone that asked them that even though they're maybe illegal, they say they have a right to be here by that. So I think it's just being taken advantage of right now. That's why I think Trump would fix that.
Interesting. I'm a little interested in Kaisa's perspective on this. Kaisa, if I wanted to become a Swedish citizen, what would I have to do?
I don't really know.
Apply and get it? Do they deny people?
Not that way, I think you have to have a place to live and a job
Okay.
or something.
Interesting. In the United States, it's quite a long process. Do any of you know the process? The citizenship test itself, they claim that most high school graduates in the United States wouldn't pass it.
Did not need for that.
Well, I bet you did part of it. Yeah. It's trivia. I mean, huh?
Don't you have to know some English too?
Oh, yeah. Well, no. They will give you the citizenship test in your native tongue.
I mean, like, do you have to?
That's more stuff.
Which, you know, we could get into that argument too, whether or not you should have to be able to speak English to be in America.
Why do they make other people take tests about U.S. trivia when we don't even know how?
That's a good question. Maybe you should know it, which is where the argument is going in the United States. I don't know if you know that or not. That argument is the one that's existing in school districts all over. You have, in fact, Minnesota, their legislature, and I don't know if they passed it or not, but it went through their legislature last year, that you couldn't graduate from high school without passing the same citizenship test that the illegal aliens have to do in order to become a citizen. Something that doesn't belong in the space that it's supposed to be here. And that's, again, our politically correct terminology. They're going to go after that word too, which is why they're going after a lot of our language, which it'll be interesting to see. But your generation's going to be the one. Mr. Preheim the other day when he said wife beater. It's a terrible term. It is. It's an awful term.
I never understood.
Well, because it relates back to the, like, Joe Dirt movies, where if you beat your wife, you live in a trailer house and you have 14 children that may not all be yours. You drink too much beer and you beat your wife. Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible term. It is. It's an awful term. But it became accepted for a really, really long amount of time. And now, if you guys say that, in the wrong circumstances, rightly so in my mind. There's a few words that I don't like, and that's one of them. So it's a white T-shirt.
No, it isn't. It doesn't have sleeves.
Well, T-shirts don't have to have sleeves. All right, kiddos. So we are going to do a few things. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to get you all hooked up to Google Drive again. So make sure you are there.